Hey guys, Movie Junkie for Life here, and this is my review of Ouija Origin of Evil. And the plot of this one is set in 1965. We have a mother and two daughters who run what do you call that? A seance type business where they communicate with the dead. Of course, it's a scam. And to bolster business, they decide to add a Ouija board to their act. And of course, things go horribly, horribly wrong. So, Ouija Origin of Evil, it's supposed to be a follow up to Ouija from I think about last year or the year before, something like that. And this one is a prequel. So it's a sequel that's a prequel. And I didn't really think that this would be any good because the fact is the original Ouija is just terrible. It was one of the worst horror movies to come out in recent times. It was just a by the numbers scare type movie that isn't even worth seeing. So I was really, really happily surprised how good this sequel is. It's actually really, really good. Again, I think the reason this movie is really good is a few things. One, the setting, the 60s. There is something about horror movies in that timeline, that era, that tends to feel really, really authentic. Like you have The Exorcist, Omen, that kind of thing. And first, the director here, Mike Flanagan, he put a lot of love into this movie. You can see it. You can really see it. When, first of all, from the moment the movie start, everything about this movie, the Universal logo, everything in this movie feels authentically 1965. The costumes and everything like that. But it's not just that. The visuals, the way the camera angles are shot, they do a lot of type of they're far out shots that zoom in really slowly and that kind of thing. It reminded me of all those old horror movies that I saw growing up. And of course, the actors here. We have three people really carrying this movie, and we have the young actress, the redhead from Oculus, showing up in this movie. I think the director, Mike Flanagan, is actually director of Oculus as well, maybe a co-writer as well. And here we have this actress coming in again, and she as well as the actress that plays her mom and the young actress, they carry this movie. They are the ones who are really the strength of this movie. And I'm glad to say this isn't one of those movies where you had really cliched type characters. Even the characters that just showed up for a little while, the sister's boyfriend, the priest. These are not characters that are used very in a throwaway manner. They're people that they build enough time that you care about these people, you care about their fate. This family, it's also, the movie does take its time building before anything really happens. And so these are three people that have been through loss. These are three people that are really trying to hold it together. So as these events occur, you feel it. You really feel sorry for them. You want to see them come through this successfully. So everything that happens is very impactful. And I say this because I think the acting is so good. It's a big reason why this movie works so well. And then, of course, there's the story. Um, Things like Ouija boards, we've seen this many, many, many times before. And it's a gimmick that could get really old, but it's utilized really, really well here, especially, I'm not sure what you call it, the pointer aspect of the Ouija board. That little glass. Oh my gosh, every time they put that up to their face to look through to see the spirits, you find yourself tensing, you're waiting, you know it's going to happen, but you don't know which side it's going to come from. And I love horror movies. Insidious did this as well, where there's a lack of sound, where there is just a moment, they allow the tension to build in that moment, and you find yourself seeing things in the room that nobody else is seeing, things like that. I've always loved those kind of quiet moments in horror movies. I find them 10 times more chilling than the boo scares. Now, this movie does have a few jump scares in it, but it's not overdone to the point of ridiculousness. It's just a couple here and there. And the pacing, like I said, the visuals, when sound is used, it's used really, really well. the story, everything fits really well into the prequel world of Ouija. So the thing is though, I don't think you need to see Ouija to enjoy this movie. I for one could barely remember that movie while I was watching this one, and I really enjoyed this one. I do understand there is an end credit sequence in this movie that ties it up very nicely with Ouija. I did not stay to see that. I didn't expect a horror movie to have end credits. I guess kind of Marvel has made it so that everybody's now getting into the end credits game. But again, you don't need to have seen the first Ouija to really enjoy this for the good horror movie it is. Does it have weak points? Yes, it does. It does sometimes fall into that cliched territory of why didn't they do this when they could have, because then nobody would have gotten hurt, that kind of thing. There's a few plot holes like that, especially coming down to the end of this movie. People make certain decisions that you just know that you yourself, or maybe in a normal situation, you would not have handled it like that. So that happens, but I'm able to forgive those moments because of how much I enjoyed this movie. So I'm happy to say Ouija is another very good horror movie that we got this year. This year we had some really fantastic ones. So I'm gonna give it 6.5 out of 10. I thought this was a solid flick. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to watching it again. I will say this, there's a little Easter egg in the basement that links this with Oculus that I really enjoyed, and so you guys can look out for that. I'm actually going to look at Oculus again because I wasn't that huge a fan of Oculus when I first saw it. I really did not enjoy it, but I keep hearing these wonderful reviews about it. I tell myself, you know what, I'm going to give it a second look. I really did not look at that movie in the right setting the first time I saw it. So I'm going to sit down and really look at it and really take it in, because Mike Flanagan did a fantastic job here. So Ouija Origin of Evil gets a 6.5 out of 10. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.